I'm sure you know that Dollar Tree has an entire selection of vinyl, but did you know that they also have faux leather? I love using these and I cannot wait to show you what I did with them. We're going to start with this beautiful pumpkin. It actually has a great design. I love the font. I love the multiple colors. So we're going to do our craft on the back of it and make it a two-sided craft. We're going to remove the sticker, and I thought it would come off, but it was a little stubborn. So using my little heating tool worked really well. All right, we're going to start with the blue faux leather, and this is just a piece that was left over from last year's projects. So I'm going to place a pumpkin on top of it, and using my rotary cutter, I'm going to cut a piece that's going to fit and cover the surface. Now, at first I thought I would Mod Podge it, and you're going to see that it didn't work, but I still want to show you because that way, you learn from my mistakes. All right, and then I thought, well, let me trace it, and then I can cut it and then apply it. I was just trying different things. I changed my mind. After I traced it, I said, no, let's just iron it. So I let the Mod Podge dry, and it did not work. It works on everything I have tried, from paper to ribbon to fabric. It didn't work. So I'm just going to go ahead and use my adhesive spray by Gorilla. I spray the surface and then placed it right on top. And it worked really good. Now I'm going to cut off the excess using my X-Acto knife. But I have found that sanding down the edges, even with the faux leather, really works very well because it just smooths out the edges and just makes it very flush to the surface, to that edge. So I'm just going to sand it down using my sanding block, and this is one I just get at Dollar Tree. Now you're going to see here, see the edge is nice and smooth, and it doesn't come off. I love it. All right, moving on. So now that we have the blue already attached, we're going to use a white faux leather, and we're just going to place it right in the center. Now this is going to be about 2 inches from each side, give or take. And then I'm going to trace one side and round it off, fold it, and then cut them both at the same time so they're both about the same shape. And then we're going to do the same exact thing. We're just going to spray the back of the faux leather with the adhesive spray and then place it right on top. Now we do have to trim the bottom and the top, and again, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to cut it off with the X-Acto knife and then sand it down for a smooth finish. Now I thought I would add some stitching like design, so I'm going to use a black thin marker for the white faux leather, and then I'm going to use a white marker for the blue leather. Now I am going to cut some of this burlap ribbon because I do want to Mod Podge that right there on the top on the stem. So I'm just going to add a little bit of Mod Podge, spread it out, and then we're going to place the Mod Podge underneath a fan to dry. And then once dry, we're going to add the ribbon and then just iron it with some parchment paper, and it really attached. So it did work for this, but again, it didn't work for the faux leather, and that's okay. We're going to cut off the excess with the X-Acto knife and my scissors just to make it as close as possible to the edge. And then, of course, now you can add whatever you want to the pumpkin. You can make it where you're just adding a decal. You can leave it just like this. You can add ribbon. I decided to add a leaf and a flower and these little wired garlands from Dollar Tree. I'm just going to wrap it around my finger and place one on one side, and then the other one, I wrap it around a pencil. That way it's a little bit thinner, and place it right there. Now I thought I needed a little bit more texture, so I'm just going to add some of these faux, is it a pampas? I think it's what it's called, feathery like, and then some green leaves just to add a pop of that green color, and I think it brought everything together. Love the way this turned out. Now you can't see the stem. Looking back, I wish I would have made the stem longer. That's something you can do, but let me know what you think of this one. For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, I'm going to take 2 pieces of scrap wood. These were in my garage, and I'm just going to remove and smooth out anything from the surface, splinters, roughness. They're scrap wood, so they were not in the best shape. I'm going to dust it really well and wipe it really well to remove all dust. And then we are going to cover the front using some faux leather. I'm going to use the brown tone for this one. It's gorgeous. Now, this is the actual size of what it comes with, so it's pretty large. I'm going to use white for the small wood and then brown for the large one, and use the adhesive spray once again. Apply it. Same thing on the little one. And then we are going to cut off the excess once again using my X-Acto knife as close as possible to the edge. Now for these, I am going to just start using my electric sander. I wanted it to be a little bit more on the rough side. I wanted it to look very distressed on the edges, almost frayed. So I'm going to use my electric sander, but you can use your sanding block if that's what you have. I did the same thing on both blocks, and I just love the way it just turned out. And leaving the wood on the side bare, love it. All right, we're going to use a bamboo skewer stick in 3 of these stems from Dollar Tree. I'm going to use my gloves here because we are going to be drilling, and we're going to be drilling on small spaces. So I want to make sure my hands are safe. So I'm going to drill a hole on the top of the large wood piece. Then I'm going to drill a couple of holes, or one hole, all the way through on one of the larger wood stems, and then halfway through the other stem, and then halfway through the other stem, and then one on top of the small wood piece. Whew, that is a lot. All right, so I added a little bit of glue and then added the skewer stick, cut off the excess, and then added glue so we can attach both stems just like this. I am then going to insert it right there in the hole. That way I know exactly about how much I need to cut off and leave on the stems, and then add hot glue and add the wood stems. So easy, such a great way to have something like a stem, but a little bit more secure than just hot gluing it. Same thing on the other one. I'm going to add a little hot glue, add the skewer stick, and then place it inside of the hole. That way I know exactly how much to cut off, kind of mark with my finger, and then place more hot glue and just attach it. Just like that. Now you can leave it like this if you want. You can add the stitching design on this one as well if you'd like, or you can just add more embellishments, and that's what I'm going to do with this one. Before we do that, I am going to add a couple of these felt pads on the bottom. This is just going to allow them to sit on any surface and not scratch them up. I did cut them up into 4 pieces and attach them. I get those at Dollar Tree. All right, time for some embellishments. We're going to make a little simple bow here using some raffia for the larger wood piece, and we're just going to hot glue it right there to the right side of the pumpkin. And then we're just going to hot glue the leftover pieces just so that they stay nicely put. For the smaller one, we're just going to wrap it around the stem, 2 pieces, wrap it into a simple knot, and then just hot glue those extra pieces all around it, cutting as needed and hot gluing as needed so that it looks nice to the eye and the design of the pumpkin. And once again, you can leave it just like this, but I am going to add some green leaves as well as some florals just to, again, add a little pop of color, nice, beautiful fall foliage style. And we're just going to keep doing that on the larger one, on the smaller one, of course, smaller on the smaller one so it doesn't take over. But I think these turn out absolutely gorgeous. They complement each other nicely, and I love that faux leather instead of paint. I think it adds so much texture, but let me know what you think of this one. For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we're going to take the brown piece of faux leather and a plate that is just, I don't know, maybe about 8 inches or so. And we're just going to trace it on the back of the faux leather and then cut it up, just like this. And then we are going to take this stitching needle and add some thin jute string and knot one end on the other side, just like that. And we're going to start stitching back and forth all around the edge. Maybe leaving about 1/4 of an inch on the edge. It does not matter, but we're just going to do that all the way around until it's fully done. Once it's done, then we are going to pull, and we're just going to pull everything. Just keep pulling so that everything comes together in the middle, and then we're going to start stuffing it with some pillow stuffing. You can also use cotton balls if you have that instead. I always keep a pillow, an inexpensive, cheap pillow in my craft room, so that when I'm making these, I can pull from it. All right, so then we're just going to, once it was full, we're just going to pull until everything's tight and then make a very simple knot. We're going to make a cute little faux leather pumpkin. I'm going to add the leaf greens from this greenery pick, and we're just going to hot glue it right there on top, and then add a stem from Dollar Tree right there on top. You can leave it like this again, or you can keep adding. So I'm going to add a couple small little flowers as well as a small little greenery pick, and I think this one is absolutely adorable. You can make these as large as you want, as small as you want. Love the way this turned out, but I'd love to know what you think of this one. For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we're going to take this pumpkin wood blank from Dollar Tree, and we're going to remove everything from it, and we're going to paint it white. I love white, but of course you can use any color you want. One coat was sufficient because I am using Waverly chalk paint and it's my favorite. Put it to the side, let it dry. Now we're going to use this marker. It's just a brown tone and we're just going to line the edge. I'm going to line the edge. Now if at any point you kind of mess up, just fill it in just like I did there, okay? And then I'm just going to add several other areas where I just want to add a little bit more darker, almost like it's chipped. So we're just going to distress it, line it, add dimension to it. And you can do this with paint if you want as well. Now we're going to take these Dollar Tree letters and we're going to spell the word fall and we're going to place them on top of brown faux leather. Once attached, we're going to cut off the excess leather from around the letters. And then once I have them nice and trimmed and cut using my X-Acto knife and my scissors, we're going to remove each letter, revealing each letter but in the faux leather. I am now going to place them in the center, going kind of vertically, and I'm just going to attach them with hot glue. So easy. You can do it however you want. You can use whatever color you want, of course. And you can even use the black letters. You don't have to do it in the faux leather, but I thought the faux leather added a nice touch of texture and color. All right, we're going to add a simple bow here using this ribbon from Dollar Tree. Tie it in the center with jute string and hot glue it to the top. We're going to add green leaves on each side and just keep adding some embellishments and a nice, beautiful sunflower in the center. But of course, this is optional. You can add whatever design you want. Now, I want this pumpkin to be able to stand, so I'm going to add a few of these tumbling tower blocks. These are the Jenga style blocks from Dollar Tree on the back. I added 4 of them. That way we can lean it in just beautiful. Oh my word. I love the white pumpkin and I love the pops of color, but let me know what you think of this one. I have another video here for you, my friends, with tons more of Dollar Tree fall DIY crafts inspiration. Check it out. I'll see you later and have a blessed day. Bye.